Welcome back to me playing Magic Online. This is Mono Green and Pioneer, a deck I played for quite a while. It's a combo deck that wants to resolve Storm the Festival to put Karn and Kiora into play and go infinite through an incredibly convoluted line that almost doesn't make sense. I'm getting a little bit weird today. I'm only playing 6 elves, usually you play 8, and I'm playing 3 armored Scrap Gorgers. Scrap Gorger's a new card, taps 1 mana of any color, also exiles graveyard with incidental upside. You can cast Teferi, which lets you go infinite in more ways with this guy. Also doesn't get cleaned up so badly by Goblin Chain Whirler, which just eats you for breakfast, and it's not as bad of a draw late game, so we'll see how this goes. Seems like we found a match in our league. Tell our buddy, hey, good luck. Me chewing on a pen is probably not great audio for this video. This hand's very good. I took this deck into a league because I forgot that you shouldn't play this deck in leagues on Magic Online. The combo is just infinite clicking and it's deterministic, but you can't shortcut it the way you can in real life, so it takes a huge amount of time to click through this. Opponent went Gigantha into Botanical Sapinum. I believe that means he's on the new Atraxa builds. I don't want to get Stubborn Denial, so I'm not going to play my Kiora here, so I can have a mana up. Scrap Georger has upside of limiting the number of cards in his graveyard and also ramping my mana. So let's see if I got a good read on opponent here. Genius, very stable Genius. So these decks are playing Grizzly Salvage as another go fast piece. We could have a pretty good turn here. So green, I'm going to exile your Salvage. Kiora, untap my man, draw a card off that. So he's going to have a pretty good turn if he's going to get a big man into the graveyard, or a Delver into play next turn. It's possible, it's just not likely. So I don't have much in my hand, but I can attack for 10. I might be able to kill him on this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I might be able to kill him with my Lair. So these two, I can get him very close to dead. So I'm gonna cast. I should not. That was the wrong land to play. Huge misplay. I'm gonna take the Cityscape just because it does something, and then I'm gonna use my Scrap Gorger just to exile some stuff from his graveyard, and then attack with it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that was a little bit of a weird play. I probably shouldn't have played that Force. I should have just played my Nykthos. But what are you going to do? So I could have attacked for an additional 7 points of damage, 6 points of damage, some amount more. I'm still very far ahead, but I could be slightly farther ahead if I played my Nykthos instead of my Force there. Found that third path, dog. Is he reading ahead? Hooting Mandrills means if I don't have the cards I already have in my hand, my opponent's dead. Unfortunately for him, I do have all these cards. That's 8. Untap that. I think this should be enough to kill my opponent. I don't know what he could have. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... 14. Yeah, easily enough to kill my opponent. So I just activate my Lair of the Hydra for maximum. Alright, don't need to sideboard. That's why I play this deck. So this first hand is I'm going to lose this game. I have 1 land. I have a bunch of 3-drops. If I draw a land or my opponent doesn't have Thoughtseize or Fatal Push, I'm gonna cruise, but that's not going to happen. This is not as good, but it's much more reasonable. I'm only going to keep 1 of these Force. I don't need the 4th land. This deck's tough because you have a temptation to mulligan to Elves because your Elf hands are so good, but you just don't. Is that the same Force I just put on the bottom? I can't remember the art, but it might. I'm going to take this Scrap Gorger here so I have something to do on 2, and it's incidentally just great against this guy. He kept a 7 that didn't have a Thoughtseize. Maybe that's not strange. Maybe that's just something. It's like me and Elf. You can't always go down to Thoughtseize. So he might have a hand full of counter magic here. I don't know if he plays a specific piece of counter magic for this. No. Grizzly Salvage. Neat. Opponent's got a ton of cards in the graveyard. Glissas Sunslayer. He wants to play a fair game of Magic. This card is kind of crazy. It does a huge amount of stuff. Almost impossible to kill. Very, very good. I have no effects to that task. Just immediately turning it into an Atraxa. Arcane Proxy is a nice addition to this deck. It's an artifact that recasts a lot of your good spells. I think that's cool. Gives you an additional type. Let's see what he takes. I can kind of guess. He's not going to take Darkslick Shores. Sorcery, creature, artifact, instant sorcery. I think you'd rather have the Thoughtseize, planning, Arcane Proxy, Otawara, Tasker, and Aethergust. Yep. So we may have entered the point of the game where I can no longer win. His turn was, and he discarded. Alright, so I got 1, 2, 3. I might have to play this Kiora just to keep myself from taking a hit from the Atraxa. It gives me an extra draw step. And I think I'm just going to eat more cards out of the graveyard because I don't know what else this is going to be doing for me. I guess I can wait until he casts the Arcane Proxy. Does it have flash? Oops, can't undo. Alright, we're just going to eat this. Him flashing back. Proxy gets another 3, 4, 5. No, Arcane Proxy is also 7. Okay. Yep. Yes, I got nothing to do with the mana. So if he hits my Kiora, I'm kind of happy because I get another turn. But he has so many cards. He played the Otawara. He's attacking my life total. Okay. So you might be able to slam another dude here, which puts me on a 1 turn to find an answer clock. Nope. Okay. So I have to beat an Aethergust. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to just put a lot of spells on the stack so this Aether Gust doesn't eat me alive. Here's the Gust. I'm going to put that on the bottom. Let's go. I'm going to start cleaning up his graveyard because I don't want to deal with his Arcane Proxy flashing back any of these value spells. Second troll resolved. Drew a forest off it. Is this enough to keep your boy in the game? Scribe Gorger's down. Opponent, if he puts me to 4, I think I still have outs. If he kills the Kiora, I think I'm pretty cold. Nope, put me to 4. He might just have a ton of counter spells though. Glissa is not too bad for me. Let's storm and see what the festival has. So I needed a reach creature there to not die, and I did not draw it. I believe that's it for me. I'm on the play, and I think that matters a whole lot. This hand is, it was greedy. It had an elf in it. I said, oh man, an elf. If he pushes my elf, I am dead, and I'm sure he will. So if I can get to this Kiora stage of the game on next turn, that'd be pretty cool. I'm good against Thoughtseize, not good against that. Well guys, thanks for watching my video. I'm going to sell my store and get into something else. Opponent main phasing a Grizzly Salvage after playing his land. I think it probably means he wants to push 6. So if I could draw another spell that costs triple green on my next turn, that's even better. Didn't even need to complain. Could just do this. I'm going to have to answer... I'm going to have to go fast. He's going to make something that makes an Atraxa next turn. He might even have the Atraxa. If he has in his hand, he has the Atraxa, which means I have a very limited amount of time to answer it. He's got the Tasigur. He's got the Atraxa. 16 cards enter the revealed card zone. If I can get to 8 mana, the Cityscape Leveler cleans everything up, but that's a tall ask given my current board position. So he chooses Breeding Pool, Strategic, Founding, Arcane, Glissa. I need to delete all those. Was that Postage? Was that word from a different game? I don't know. Oh, maybe you put them in the graveyard and exile them. Good start, big dog. So I want to use... I'm not sure if I gain something by waiting on this Kiora activation. I don't think. I don't know what land I could draw that makes it a better idea to have that Kiora up. Teferi is the wrong card for right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. 4, 5, 6 mana next turn. It's not enough to do much. I can activate a Nykthos, play a troll, activate Nykthos again. Does that make enough mana? 2 for 4, down to 1. If I draw a land, I can go Old Growth into Cityscape, which answers the Atraxa for a turn, which is pretty great. Do you play that Breeding Pool? Well, that's going to change everything. Opponent takes the Cityscape, which is, it's worse than me having it in my hand for me. But it still gets to destroy the Atraxa, which means I get to buy myself more draw steps. I think he played his Breeding Pool. Now he plays the Breeding. I think opponent's deck is I think all these cards are great. So he's trying to set up for another Atraxa turn next turn, perhaps. Okay, that might do it. So let's go 1, 2. Let's draw my card. Another Old Growth Troll. All right, let's see if I can't. This would be a pretty neat turn if I manage to get all this stuff together. Up to 7. Yeah, I go down to 4, down to 2, then up to 10. Yes, that's cool. This is neat. What a turn. 10 Devotion. I think I net mana if I play this too. Now let's untap that. So I'm trying to figure out how much mana I actually have to work with. 17. So I can eat his Atraxa, I can Karn and get the rest of his Atraxas, and then I just have to beat the cards he has in his hand, which is not that hard given my board state and that I have all this mana devotion in a new turn. So I'm going to play Karn, and I can get anything that's up to 5 mana. Make sure Unearth is still, whatever the amount, Unearth is still 8. So Karn gets, can I just kill my opponent here? 12, no I can't. I should just get the Stonebrain and not be greedy. Let's cast that. Let's cast this. Can have a way to, if he can get Atraxa back from his graveyard, I am going to have to fight it again. But I can get rid of the rest of the Atraxas by just exiling this one. And do you have a question? Oh! Opponent concedes to that. Round 2, opponent, I'm on the play again. I think I've been on the play a lot, which is weirdly important for the deck I'm playing. This hand is the best. All my forests match. I'm playing 3 different art forests. All of these match. Very lucky. And if my dude gets killed, I get to have a Wolf Willow on 2 and some Old Growths. My dude doesn't get killed, I get to start vomiting trolls. Alright, my dude gets killed. This is the bad ending, but it's still good enough. I'm going to play a Scrap Gorger. I think he's playing Burn. I want him to devote more of his removal to my creatures so that I can stick these Old Growths. There's not much good that happens also with me having 4 mana next turn from the Wolf Willow, but no 0/3 blocker in play. So this is the matchup. They bring in Chain Whirler, and I am slightly better insulated. I'm just so salty. All right, so I can go Old Growth here. I think it's better to get an Old Growth down to protect my life total than it is to draw an extra card off Kiora. I don't know what I can. I guess if the Old Growth blocks and dies, I have extra mana, so I'm good with this entire thing happening. I could go on Kiora, and then on my next turn, use 2 forests, put a Wolf Willow on the 1, and made 4 mana, 5 if I drew a land, and been in about the same position. Alright, okay. Phoenix Chick's getting me. Just cast it from his hand. Soulscar Mage, Bone Crusher. Opponent had a very good start. He's killed a bunch of my threats and still committed a bunch of stuff to board, so that's very cool. I don't like my attacks here. Gosh. So I'm at 17. This chick is gonna chip away at me. I wish I could draw a land. If I go a setup turn, I have one blocker, he has one attacker. The Kamano is gonna have haste. Oh, this stops my old growths from coming back. I'm gonna sacrifice one old growth this turn to get through. So if he kills my old growth, cool, you did it, bud. You're big smarts. But hopefully I can trade it off for his Kumano faces Kumano. And then next turn, I can Kiora, make enough mana to get the old growth in and draw a card and hopefully get something going. The other shot, I should have maybe just played the old growth troll here. So Chandra's not going to do much. She might stomp something. So this means my opponent is letting me know that if I block this etching of Kumano, I will not get to have my old growth troll on my land. Opponent's tapped out. I kind of want to trade this guy for this and just take the 4 points of damage here. Kiora is going to beckon some behemoths over this way. I'm just going to go empty hand and dump everything. So he gets me if he has a, what's it called? I probably should have attacked Kiora there, or Chandra there. I don't think he can play. Is it on an adventure? He stomps. Oh, he stomped my troll. Okay. So he's got a small number of cards to put together. He's got 3, I guess, once he pluses the Chandra. Chandra pluses. Phoenix of Ash, a card I've never heard of. Very cool. This is mono red phoenixes, I guess. Any attacks? I can push 6 here. Flyers coming in, putting me to 8. I would guess, yeah, they got him. This is the matchup for it. That's bad luck. I'm going to push this guy at the Chandra just to kind of keep it from pressuring me. I don't want it to ultimate. So if my old growth dies here, that's actually pretty swell. Unless it does exactly this. I guess it wouldn't have died anyway. It wouldn't have made it through this anyways. Okay, so I need to, in a bad way, turn this into a rats. Well, I've got 6 mana on my turn. If he kills everything I have 5. So Storm the Festival will still probably my best draw. Just dead to the Flyers. Don't have to board anything. Hoping for a lucky 7. This hand does not have a 1-drop elf, which is my favorite thing to have, but I don't think I can reliably mulligan to them. It also has a 5 and a 6 and a 3, so hopefully this one Oath of Nissa finds me something to get the game going a little faster. Gosh. I'm going to take a Karn, I guess. All payoffs. No gas. Soul Scar out of opponent. Wolf Willow Haven right on time, making my forest enchanted. Oh gosh. So I have the stabilizing forces in my hand. Hopefully my life total isn't too low when they resolve. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second, I can, next line I have the option of taking the greedy line, which is storming the festival, hopefully into a Cavalier and another Cavalier, or just casting a Cavalier to stop the bleeding. And I think I'm going to have to just cast the Cavalier, but I'm going to be pissed about it. I currently have all the pieces to go infinite. I just need more creatures, more devotion to green. If I get more creatures, I'm probably also going to incidentally stabilize the board. That's the direction I should go for everything. If I do that, nothing else matters. Are all these coming at Cure? They're all coming at Cure. Cool. It's a good play by my opponent. Here's a Cavalier. Let's not hit a Nykthos for once. I'll take that Forest, thinks. I guess I couldn't have, but if I had, I would have hit a Cavalier and an Old Growth Troll or Cure. I would have been very happy with myself and very smart. So let's toss this in front of whatever wants to block, wherever he wants to attack with. There's part of me that says, like, how bad could it get, you know? If I don't block, how much damage can he do? Because me untapping with my Cavalier for the devotion might be enough to just close the game out, but also it might not be, and then I die. No attacks from opponents, a great sign for the home team. Let's start with an elf. And I have 6 mana. I think I'm just going to storm because it gets me a 4-drop. I don't know what it is that helps all that much. I paid more mana for a Karn, I guess. That's fine. Okay, so now I have 3 mana. I could have had a Karn in 4 mana instead I have a Karn in 3. This is somehow better. You could try a Filigree Silex here. I can put a counter on it and the next turn blow his board. I like that. I lose my Oath and my Elvish Mystic, but that's good enough. No attacks from me. I have a line at going infinite next turn where I go down with Karn to get Pestilent Cauldron to return Old Growth Troll and Cure to my hand. Then I Cure to untap my Nykthos, retap it, cast Old Growth Troll, but I don't think I have enough devotion to get that out. It depends on what I draw. I could get Cura and Nykthos back, which would probably net me more mana, but not enough. And even though I think this is probably close to good enough with what I just have. The festivities are over. He might be just trying to trade off all what he's got for getting this Karn off the board. Chain Rule is good. I don't have that many elves though. Alright, so I've got a 3/4 and I'm just going to put it in front of... I'm trying to decide if there's a better reason for having one of these dead right away. I'm going to kill that one first. Put an oil counter here. I can clean up 3 of my opponent's creatures on my turn. Nykthos might be the one thing that makes everything make sense. Oh, I have to play my Karn is too low. 3, 4, 5. I can make 5. I guess I can just play Magic for a little while. I don't want to. I want the game to be over, but I'm content if I must just play Magic. Let's go Karn with... So we're just going to take the boring route of playing the cards in my hand that make me win the game and being mad about it. Let's go with a... I'm going to Sky Sovereign here to clean up his little guy. And I don't know, there's new cards all the time. Is there a card in Magic that makes his creatures indestructible? I think I'm safe to just sit on this Filigree Silex until he decides to do something. I could have played my Nykthos to try and keep the turn going. I just don't think there's any reason to. All right, well, let's Filigree Silex this. I lose my Oath of Nissa, which means my the fairy is now a bad draw instead of a good one, but I still think that's worth doing. Opponent has drawn 5 lands, which in like, it's like burn is like dog years. That's like 50 lands if you're not playing a burn deck. Keeping my Karn in check. Let's plus here. 3, 4 mana, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kind of starved on mana, weirdly enough. I can throw away a Nykthos. I have a lot of Nykthoses. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to throw away a Nykthos. 5, 6, 7, 8. Play this, go up to 10, and I'll flashback a Storm. I still have a Nykthos in my hand, so I can still do some pretty cool stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do with the Storm, though. I guess I can just keep playing Karn and getting threats. It's so good, but I just, like, I find it bores me to tears to not try and spin the wheels with, so I've got 6 mana, which means I can cast anything in my, this is so much better. I'm going to Pestilent Cauldron. I just want to give myself a buffer of life because I don't think, nothing he has could matter once I'm at fit 14. Am I God's toughest soldier? Because he is definitely giving me his hardest battle. This hand stinks so bad. It has 4 lands. I'm going to die. I'm just going to die. This is a much more reasonable hand. Okay. The card I don't really want is this Oath. I just like to play my cards in my hand in the order I got them. So yeah, if he doesn't kill my elf, I'll go Elf, Old Growth. If he does kill my elf, I'll go Wolfwillow, Old Growth, and hopefully not die. I don't have it. I guess the reason I drew another land. The reason I put the Oath on the bottom is because I didn't have a spot for it. I didn't have somewhere in the curve I liked it. I guess if he kills my thing and I go Wolfwillow on turn 2, I can then Nissa Oath for another land on turn 3, which is what I might have to have done. So let's hope he doesn't have a Kamano or a Spike Field, so I can trade this Old Growth off next turn for some mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He gets a free turn. He doesn't have many cards in his hand. Did he mulligan? I never pay attention. I mulligan to 6. He's playing 7. That was a tough scry. He put it on the bottom. So I've drawn a lot of lands, which I'd love to complain about, and I might. Hopefully this Old Growth Troll gets to block some damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If the Old Growth blocks and successfully dies its way onto my forest, I get to Storm on my next turn, which is really all I'm asking for. No such luck. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 mana, which means I can Karn for something that costs 1. It's not good, but it's what I got. Let's see what is in my sideboard. I always like going into my sideboard having no idea what I'm looking for. It's especially fun for my opponents in paper when I dig around for a while without finding anything. I'm going to get the Cauldron just because it says gain 5 life. That might be enough to win a lot of games. He can trade off some creatures to try and knock my Karn out, but I'm really happy to just preserve my life total at this point. I'm not sure if opponent meant to play his Den there because he's taken a really long think, which makes me think he had a line that he can't get to because he has another land that would have come into play on tap. In paper, I would give him a take back. I don't know if I'm too generous with those, but I think it doesn't really matter. Go into attacks, just the Fiendish Chick at the Karn, which means I have to kill the Karn if I want to activate it. Spoiler alert, I 100% don't even get the option. So I could Pestilent Cauldron to gain 5 life, get back my Karn and my Mystic, which seems okay. I could also just Storm. And I don't know why you guys thought I was going to do the safe. I'm obviously going to Storm the Fest. Just get immediately destroyed. Just immediately regret my actions here. So let's get a Lair and a Wolfwillow, I guess. Those are both mana. One is Devotion. Pop this one onto here in case I draw a Kiora. And send it on back. So I could have gone for a Karn with a Minor something. I don't know what I would have gotten. Or I could have gone Pestilent just to make sure I don't die. I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm like very good but unlucky. Bone Crusher is a good sign for me. It means he's not going to try and push through lethal this turn. Opponent skewered me into turn, and then someone called my store phone, said answer that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to start trying to not lose the game and get back these 2 dudes. I guess I gained 4 life. I thought it would be 5. So I don't want to recast my Karn. I'm guessing an extra blocker does very little for me. The question is, would I rather have a Boseiju in my hand for some weird thing happening on a future turn, or do I want an Elvish Mystic in play for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? For 10 mana, I think that answered itself. Let's hope my opponent doesn't do anything with a creature that causes me to regret this. Or not a creature, an artifact or enchantment causes me to regret. In the festivities is killing off my Old Growth Troll, but does it? Yep. I am 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I am close to dead. I thought I had a little more breathing room than it looks like I do. All right, we're skewering my old growth troll. 11 mana on my turn, but I'm going to have almost no life to play with and almost nothing to do. So, gosh, do I instantly die if I Karn for a sideboard piece? Is there a sideboard piece that gets me out of this? I have 11 mana, which means I have 7 mana. I don't think that is enough at all. Gosh, it's going to have to be a storm. Did I tap too much mana for that? Looks like I did. Okay, so this is about as good as hits come. Let's take those two. It's so funny how the game suddenly starts to look up for the good guy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think that I'm just going to tap this shrine in case I hit another one off of my Cavalier. I didn't, but that's fine. I'm still very cool. I've got 12 mana now. I'm just going to keep storming. Well, so I can Karn. So the Den of the Bugbear is going to threaten a lot of damage on me. I can Karn to gain 4 life. I have to Karn to gain 4 life. Yeah, it's boring and I hate doing this, but it's just easily the correct play. Let's get back the old Pestilent Cauldron. I'm going to cast it, getting back a Scrap Gorger. Yeah, I got 2 blockers there. All right, so I'm going to play this here, and then I have the option of making an Old Growth Troll token at the end of his turn. I hope I can't die, but I might be able to. Rampaging Ferocidon is tough for me. Whenever it does 1 damage whenever creature ETBs. So that means I'm very limited in the number of game actions I get to take. If he sends everything at my Karn, that means that I can't just go get an answer to the Ferocidon, which is what I immediately have to do. But if he does, nope, no attacks. So I don't think I'm going to turn this into a 4/4. I think I'd rather have the extra mana on my turn. Picking up that forest is just absolutely clutch. Let's find out how much my Nykthos make. How greedy can I get? So I can make 23 mana this turn, so I have plenty of time to start trying to storm off. I'm going to Karn down to pick up a Cityscape Leveler. I could give myself extra mana if I just got the Sky Sovereign. I want this Cityscape Leveler because it's a blocker too. So let's cast that and get rid of my sideboard. I'm going to get rid of that Ferocidon, please. So let's see how much this taps for. 9, 10, storm here. Let's go cool. Yeah, okay, all right. Things are starting to look up for the good guys here. So I'm now going to make a tremendous amount of mana. I'm going to draw a card, please not a Nykthos. It's Cure, even better. Got the Nykthos, don't even have to use the activation. Let's go with this one. 2, I have 17. I'm going to untap this just in case I storm into another Cura. I don't know how it would, but I might. Let's flashback this storm. All right, so let's go Cavalier, Old Growth. So my mana, I am making a bunch of mana these turns. Ha ha ha. This is great. So this deck, when this deck starts popping off, it is really just so much fun to do. I'm trying to figure out what actually, so I don't have a way to get an additional activation. I just need another Karn. Flashback this thing. So I have the option of playing my Cura. Gosh, I'm going to take a Wolf Willow and an Oath. That way if I draw my Teferi, if I hit a Teferi here, I'm suddenly a very lucky boy. Let's untap that, or let's play that, I guess, is what I should say. There's a Teferi. So I now have a very convoluted infinite loop that my opponent cannot interact with, that they may not understand what the loop is, or that it is real. Oh, I don't have the loop yet. I'm close to the loop. Okay, hold on. So I have to find another Karn to get a Chain Veil out of my sideboard. So I think I have another, am I out of storms? Oh gosh. So I have a lot of mana. I don't have a thing in my sideboard. I'm going to stack this, draw a card to see if I can just hit a Karn real fast. That usually works. I was surprised it didn't. So let's go to Teferi. I'm going to minus him. Storm, Karn is there. Okay. I have an infinite loop of Karn and Chain Veil now. So I go get Chain Veil. My opponent may make me click through it because it's in paper, the win condition is I stone brain every single card out of my opponent's library and make them lose the game. And that would take me a huge amount of time. Oh, I get to tap stuff. Oh, I can actually just do all this. So I'm going to untap that one. So this goes incredibly infinite. So I go to Teferi to untap my Chain Veil, tap one of their blockers, untap my land. Then I repeat the process. I tap Nykthos to make a bunch of mana, tap Chain Veil to get another activation. Then I use Teferi to untap my Chain Veil, tap one of their blockers, untap my land. And this continues for some while. I also start getting to use Teferi on every loop to tap one of my artifact, creature, land. I get to start tapping one of my opponent's lands every time. So my opponent has no mana floating. He has nothing going on. And I have to click this 83 times. I hope this thing doesn't have summoning sickness. I don't think it does, so I'm just going to turn it into a creature. Yeah, it's a 50. That's cool. So I'm going to lose all this mana, but I still could start the combo up again if for some reason I needed to. I think these are enough creatures to attack, and that should kill him. Yep, that'll do it.